Archie Elam is a veteran of the United States Army and a critical member of a Veterans Advisory Board that I have that advises me on veterans issues, and a member of the committee that we use to put forward nominations to the security, to the military academies, and a veteran of the United States Army.
Thank you. And first I want to thank you and all the folks here for just taking the time out to engage on this. This is not easy stuff. And the sentiments that I've heard both here and I've listened through two of these, I've only stood up and spoken at one, and it's been deliberate because I learned a lot by listening. But as we get to kind of the end of one of these, it just struck me that there are a couple of things I thought that I could offer to help us all in how we wrestle with this, regardless of which side you're on. First, a lot of points I heard were made around terrorism. I'm going to give you the perspective of a soldier. I'm a graduate of West Point. I was commissioned as an Army cavalry officer and spent most of my career in tank and cavalry units in Germany and other places. I've been one of those guys that's come to knock on your door to tell you that a loved one's not coming home. I've done that several times. When I went to Desert Storm, 8 of my guys didn't come back. And there are many veterans I suspect sitting in this room right now, or people who have family members that are. One of the things that strikes me as we all talk about this is we need to be connected up as a community and a country around the people that are at this and what they're doing. Personally, I think you should reach in your pocket every year, put the money on the table, ask the hard questions and whatever, but you see it. You see it. It's very personal. Another little nugget for you. The highest re-enlistment rate in the United States Army is in Iraq and Afghanistan. Now, what are those young men and women seeing who see their friends die that we don't see? Whether we argue about should we spend it on X, Y, or Z, it's all good, because if you sit in a chair like Barack Obama's or a governor or a city council member or someone else who's trying to make all these things work, you're at the point of the spear with a lot of competing interests. And everybody thinks their idea, point of view, perspective is the only one and the right answer. And that's okay, because we're human. We have self-determination and souls and those kind of things that make us what we are. But the other thing that we are is one country. Those young men and women over there weren't sent by Republicans or Democrats. They were sent by a president and a people. Now, sometimes in our discussion, I think we lose track of that. A bit about terrorism. My first touch with terrorism as a soldier was in the early 1980s in Germany, where folks like the Baader-Meinhof gang, Al-Fatah guerrillas, sponsored by countries like Iran, Syria, and Lebanon, were putting we're putting bombs under the bottoms of our vehicles and killing our soldiers. In the brigade I was assigned to, 5 of my guys died there. I was in Germany in 1983 when Marines were killed in Lebanon in a terrible explosion. These people declared war on us a long time ago. It's taken us a while to get our heads around the fact that that's where they are. They will not go away if we stop. For as much as I'd love that to be, they will not. Because at the end of the day, they don't care about that. They will come find us. Because they're afraid of who we are, what we're about, and what we do. There are a lot of women sitting in the room here, and I'm glad to see that. Because in a country like, and I'll take a mark from Saudi Arabia, where we deployed our tanks in Desert Storm, a woman cannot vote, drive a car, hold a driver's license. Is that the world you want to live in? Because that's what they want to sign us up for. And they don't care. They don't. And it's the extremists and the crazies, but they are what they are, and you got to start with what's in front of you. That said, I will tell you as a soldier that we have to all keep in mind that at the end of the day, nobody has enough bullets to kill all the people on the other side. That said, it doesn't mean you don't do it. It means you do it smart, you do it right, and you get people to the conditions where they can get the peace that they all want. I can tell you for a fact, standing in Iraq in 1991, a mother of a Bedouin tribe, whose son, the short story is I'm sitting in a facility and I hear rattling on the roof, and I'm thinking somebody's about to drop a grenade down inside. I run out, pull my pistol, and look on the roof, and there's a little kid who's probably 8 years old, trying to pull the plywood off the top of the roof. I get him down, so you know how close you came to get shot for nothing. Why are you here? And he couldn't speak English. He points to a sand dune, and up stand his mother, a little girl of about 5, and another little boy who was probably 8 or 9 years old. All of them barefoot. It was 121 degrees that day. They were coming to us for help because of that flag we wear on our shoulders. And those terrorists don't see Republicans, Democrats, men, women. They see that American flag and what stands out. And it scares a lot of them. The idea of a woman holding a political office scares the bejeebers out of them. That's not how they were brought up. That doesn't make them good or bad. It just means that we live in a world where all these different parts are coming connected together. And we have the honor of being at the point in history where we got to try to sort all that out and make it work. And coming out the other side of this, I think, will be better. In the short term, it's going to be tough and ugly, no question. But it doesn't mean we can't do it. It doesn't. And at the end of the day, one of the major fights in a war, as much as we talk about bullets and casualties and people and all that, is up here. One of the books we read at West Point was Sun Tzu's The Art of War. We read many of them. The core of a fight is in the mind. If I make you quit before you start, I don't have to fire a shot. Don't let ourselves get so beat up that we lose our will to see what's possible and not just what's a problem. It's very easy to get the two mixed up. And to not treat each other that way. Either. Across the party, station, or any of that. Because the enemy isn't sitting in this room. It's not. You asked about terrain. Is there, what's the number of countries and blah, 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 that we touch in the war on terror? Al-Qaeda is in like 75, 80 countries. And as Congressman probably said once, you can't send enough military folks out there to lock it all down. But you can lock this down. And so you get to these complicated decisions about how we treat people in the field and bringing in education, all those other things that make it work. And all of that has to happen. But at the base of it is the will of the American people. And if we want it to work, we should stand up and say, let's make it work. And twitch where we got to twitch, and reach out where we got to reach out, and push where we got to push, and ask questions where we got to ask, but make it work. Because at the end of the day, the world that these guys want us to live in is not the world that any of us would want, any of our ancestors ever fought for, and anybody with a reasonable mind is going to support. So with that, I'm going to step back. I think these kind of dialogues are great. Reach out and get to know the people, like the 700 that left here in December to go to Indiana and off to Iraq. Get to know them and their families. They need us all. And they don't wake up in the middle of the night saying, I'm not going to write a letter home because Uncle Joe just became a Republican or anything like that. That's not how it works. We got to be one people on this. As I listen to some of these, I think at times we lose track of that, and it's important that we don't, because if we do, they'll win. They won't have to fire a bullet at us. We'll be shooting at each other. And they'll be laughing.